Hi, this is Jim at your Jiffy Customer Support Center. In this segment, we're going to cover the proper procedure for removing and replacing the fuel tank on the Jiffy Model 4G Lite engine. The first thing we want to do to start this procedure is, first of all, remove all the fuel from the gas tank so we don't have any fuel spillage during this procedure. The next thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and remove the recoil starter, because that's part of the system that holds the fuel tank in place. I'm going to remove those 3 Allen head screws that hold the starter on using an Allen head wrench. We want to go ahead and take the screws out of those, set them aside. One thing we're going to want to note in this process is there's 2 sections here that fit over these 2 extrusions on top of the gas tank that hold that part of the tank in position. So you want to make note of that. The next thing we're going to do is remove the fuel lines from the carburetor. One of the things you're going to want to do is remove the fuel cap and look inside the fuel tank and notice which one of the lines have the fuel filter on it, because the line that has the fuel filter on it will go on the fitting that's closest to the engine. There's actually two fittings on the carburetor. One is closer to the engine and one is a little further away from the engine, but the one fuel line with the fuel filter on it is the one that goes on the fitting closest to the engine, so you want to make sure you make note of that. We'll go ahead and remove these fuel lines from the carb, and then we'll be able to remove the tank. The tank is held on with these 2 slots that fit into these 2 grommets down here on the bottom of the cylinder. Okay, now that we've got the new fuel tank assembly, you're going to note that the fuel lines and everything come with the new fuel tank, along with the grommet that hold the fuel lines in position in the side of the tank. The first thing we're going to wind up doing is the extrusions in the bottom of the tank fit in these grommets in the front of the cylinder. So we'll slide those in first of all. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these 2 rubber grommets from the top of the tank, and I'm going to fit them in the recoil starter right away. I've just learned that it's easier to do this assembly rather than trying to fit the starter over them when it's together. So we'll slide those in. We might have to pull the recoil, get that in position. Once we get that all in position, we'll go ahead and remount the 3 Allen head screws that hold the starter on. We'll tighten those up. Then the last thing we're going to do is, again, look inside the fuel tank to see which of the fuel lines have the filter attached to it, and make sure that that fuel line goes on the fitting that's closest to the carburetor. And we'll get those back in position. Put the fuel cap back on. And that basically concludes the proper procedure for removing and replacing the fuel tank on the Jiffy Model 4G Lite engine. If anyone has any questions regarding this procedure, please feel free to contact us at your convenience at 1-800-344-0712. At this time, I'd like to take this time to thank you for your continued support of Jiffy products and also the purchase of your Jiffy ice drill. Thanks and have a great day.